Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Winter Pride 2020. I am your lovely host, Glitchwitch. As you may have heard my voice before in this marathon, I ran a game a few hours ago, days. What is time anymore? Anyway, I am here with my most fated foe, my mortal enemy, Bonnie Bon, and he's going to run a video game for you.
Yes, that is what I was asked to do, so here I am.
Thank you.
Of course. Alrighty, so hello everyone, my name is Bonnie, and I am going to be running Neutopia II for the TurboGrafx 16. This is a really cool little kind of action-adventure RPG here that's got a lot of stuff going on in it, and I'm very excited to show it off for you. But before I do, we are going to, as soon as we start the run, we need to name our lovely protagonist here, and I will need you to tell me what that name is going to be, lovely host Glitchwitch.
I can certainly do that if I remember to unmute my microphone.
Okay.
Let me give it a quick refresh.
Okay.
Let's see, is this bid going anywhere? I have a donation to read first. I just want to make sure this doesn't go towards a name, because I'm not seeing it, but it might. So if you don't mind, we have $50 from Woods saying, said I'd donate $10 to death for high hell, but this run is important, so have 30 more. Thanks for putting on such an amazing event and having us on. And let me triple check that didn't go somewhere. Okay, you're still good with Elliot winning the Neutopia II naming incentive.
Elliot, very good. Alrighty. All right. Well, then, if that is the case, then I guess I'll go ahead and get started.
That sounds like a great plan.
All right. And let's get this rolling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Alrighty.
All right, so Bonnie, what is this game I've definitely never seen before?
Of course not. So this is Neutopia 2. We're going to start out with a little cutscene here where Jazeta is going to try to defeat a Kraken and fail rather miserably. Cut to this scene where this kid is sitting here holding a shield and watching some blonde lady sleep. And what she's going to do is wake up and say, oh my goodness, I had a terrible dream, and it just happened to be about your dad. He has been missing for a year. Nobody knows where he went, and we're all terribly worried about this. So, my boy, what you need to do is you need to go out and find Dad. Here's a charmed compass that we will never use over the course of the speedrun. And this will certainly help you along your way. So, good luck, have fun.
Do you normally play this in English? Am I noticing something different here?
I am playing this in English so that we could do the donation incentive for the naming.
Ooh. Oh, right, yeah. Of course.
Yes, but normally I do play it in Japanese because the text scroll is a little faster. So it does save some time. Before we get adventuring, we've got to do a couple things here, which is pick up some bombs and some medicine. And this will get us kind of started with our adventure, especially the bombs. If everything goes to plan, we won't use the medicine until the very end of the run. All right, let's see here. Oh, that might be good. I'm trying to do a manipulation here because we've got... it's pretty tough to do. So the first thing that we need to worry about as we set out into this great blue world here is money. We are going to need 300 gold by the time we get to the next town, because in that town is going to be a weapon that we really want to buy. So I didn't get anything from those slimes. That's not good. Okay. I mean, we still have plenty of time before we get there, but the sooner I can stack up money, the better. Whoops. Because this weapon that I need is excruciatingly important. So let's talk a little bit about what... Oh, there we go. Okay. So all of the enemies in this game have a drop table where they can drop one of 3 items, either a common and uncommon or rare, and kind of knowing what they will drop makes it easier when it comes to farming, so you know which enemies to kill and which ones you can avoid. Before we go into that crypt there, I'm gonna stop in here to talk to this guy here in this lovely hot pink toga, and he's going to give me an extra segment of life, which is probably a good opportunity to talk about the category that we're doing here, which is 100%. So what I will be doing over the course of this run is I am going to be collecting every permanent item in my inventory, every sword, shield, and armor upgrade, as well as every upgrade to both my my life capacity and my bomb carrying capacity. So you're going to see me doing that all over the place throughout this run. Some money. Oh, some more money. Good. Yeah, so the silver coins are worth 10, the golden coins are worth 50, and then they can also drop what looks like a little bag of money, and those are worth 100. Those we obviously love to see. So yeah, so here we are in the first crypt. There's going to be 8 crypts throughout the game that are going to give us various goodies and whatnot. So here I'm picking up my first armor upgrade. This is actually very nice for the boss of this crypt, which we'll talk to when we get to it. But another thing that's going to be really important, aside from the money that we're collecting, is going to be these bombs that I'm using to blow holes in walls. Oh, this is a good time to talk about damage boosting too, where the amount of space that you cover when you get hit is like comical. So we actually are going to use this to our advantage in some areas to either get through enemies or just move faster when the opportunity presents itself to us. So you're going to see me enter a screen and immediately take damage in several occasions. So here I'm picking up a key. Each crypt has a key that is unique to it. You need to have it in order to open the door to the boss's room. So you'll see me collect exactly 1 key in every crypt that I enter.
Funny, I have an important question.
Go ahead.
I saw you walk by many treasure chests without opening them. May I inquire as to why?
So, yes, you can. There are going to be some treasure chests that will contain an item called the Crystal Ball, which is essentially just a map of the dungeon. Ooh, I'll take that too. Those are not required for 100%. Also, there are going to be many fake treasure chests where you will approach them, and instead of them giving you something, a whole bunch of daggers will come shooting out of them and do damage to you. So they're not actually quote-unquote treasure chests at all. They're just chests of deceit and pain.
Treasure in a loose kind of painful way.
Yes.
They have killed me many times when I was playing through this video game. That's what I remember most, as well as, Find the Push Block. My favorite.
Oh, yes. Yes, Push Block Simulator 2020.
Oh, God.
Alrighty, so this is Mecha Worm. One of the cool things that I like about this game is as soon as you walk into a boss's room before you do the fight, they talk a little bit of mess to you, so, you know, you get a little kind of cutscene there. I don't know why a mechanical worm would necessarily have a whole lot to say, but that was actually an excellent fight. That fight can be really awful because where the mecha worm comes out of the ground and the direction that it moves is all completely random. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I've found no way to manipulate it, so it can just pop out like directly under your feet with no warning and just do a whole bunch of damage to you, which is why having that bronze armor is very nice. So we have slain the mecha worm, and our prize for doing so is the Chalice of Agony, which we will be using a couple times actually coming up here. But what I really need to do here as I walk back from whence I came and then over to the next town is I really need money, and I am... Oh, there we go. There's 100 bag. That's literally a third of what we needed there. That's hype. Also, I'm going to want to kill these kind of like pig farmer soldier guys because they can drop bombs too, and I am going to need bombs a whole bunch throughout this entire run. Like, it's insane how many bombs you use. So, yeah, we just leave the old man chained in the dungeon. He's fine. We've killed the boss in there. He'll figure out the rest. Certainly, you know, I'm busy doing other stuff. Certainly somebody else can go. Oh, good, we're at 270 now. So, yeah. Old men chained up in dungeons is very much a theme of not only this game but its predecessor. So it's just you just kind of get used to it after. You just kind of go numb to it. Oh yes.
At some point you realize. Sorry, you go ahead. My bad.
I am very, very relieved because we have now collected over 300 gold, meaning that I can buy this weapon that I need in the next town. And yeah, this is one of the nerve-wracking things about running this in a running this in a marathon is that sometimes the game just won't play nice, and you are stuck with bad stuff. So here we go. We are going to use the Chalice of Agony, and of course, in the Chalice of Agony is the Tears of the Innocent, and the Tears of the Innocent apparently turn lava into ice. So this is good because now we can walk across said ice and continue with our game. A couple things that I picked up in that last crypt that were really good to see. One of them was a magical ring. They're very cool. I am not going to use it until the very last dungeon of the game, but it's good to already have it. The other thing that I picked up is a little blue and white pair of wings. I'll talk a little bit more about that actually in just a few seconds because it's relevant to something that I will be doing. But first, we're going to pop in here. We're going to say hello to this jolly fat man, and he is going to sell us this boomerang. Now, do not underestimate the power of this boomerang. It is a vicious assault weapon that we are going to use heavily on bosses to make those fights much, much easier. The other thing I'm doing is I'm talking to this purple robe dude. He's going to ask me if I want a password. I'm always going to say no, but talking to him does two things. First of all, he refills my life, which is nice. The other thing is when you talk to him, it sets that as a checkpoint. When I use those wings that I picked up, it's going to take me back to the most recent checkpoint that I have touched. Considering that when the item that I'm going to obtain at the end of this next crypt is going to be used in that town that I was just in. Using the wings is going to save me over a minute of backtracking as far as walking goes. So wings are going to, we use them in I think 3 different occasions, and they're just great for saving time and not having to, do all kinds of walking back because it's a speed run and who has time for that? So I tell you what, I'm basically just going to be doing a little walk here to the next crypt. So if you would like to read off maybe a donation or two, a blurb or whatnot, please take it away.
I'll hit you with the donation, but I do want to pop out and just say how excited I am to see the fire rod. As someone who's played Neutopia 1, that must be extremely useful, right? Good answer. Anyway, I have donations for you if you'd like.
Go ahead. Yes.
All right, we have $50 from, I believe this is our previous runner, Dwego, saying, y'all are awesome. Thanks for making this such a great, amazing event. Hey, thank you so much for that. Let's see, we also have Xandra, the one and only Xandra, with $25 saying, best of luck in Neutopia. You know, those slimes back there looking awful like the ones we saw last night in Willow. Does Bobby Vaughn just speedrun games that have lemon-colored slimes in them? Ooh, is there a Landstalker run in the cards? Also, hi Cat, you're wonderful. Which was in parentheses, so maybe that was just for me, but I'm gonna read it to all y'all too.
Thank you, Xandra. Yes, and the slime thing is merely a coincidence.
Thanks, D.
Alrighty. So you saw me do another damage boost there. I actually did this intentionally because if you're familiar with the first Neutopia, and you alluded to it just a few seconds ago, Kat, is that the output of your fire wand is tied to your current life total. Now that I have 6 hearts as opposed to 7, I'm going to instead shoot out these little fireballs instead of the kind of rolling columns of fire. The reason why I want to do this is because these fireballs are faster and they're easier to control. So there's going to be a few enemies that I am going to want to kill with these, and just having the fire wand in this kind of state just makes that a little easier. like these guys. So just go ahead and kill them. Bonus wings. Unfortunately, I can only hold one set of wings at a time, which is unfortunate. I'd love to be able to have multiple copies of it, but alas. So now we have our first shield upgrade, and later on in this crypt, we will get our first sword upgrade as well. So, alrighty. Let's talk a little bit more about the boomerang as well, because it is just that important. It does an absolute truckload of damage, especially against bosses, and with only a couple of exceptions, the way that I will be destroying bosses is via the boomerang. So, that's why it's so important. However, as I like to say when it comes to this, with great power comes great responsibility. Now, I am sure we all know how a boomerang works. You throw it, and it goes out, and then it comes back to you. Well, if you are not in if you're not in its flight path as it returns to you and you don't catch it, or if you throw it and then leave the room before you catch it, you lose it. It vacates itself from your inventory and it is gone. This is a very, very real possibility that this can happen at just about any moment, virtually any time that I throw the boomerang. So you're going to notice that as much as I can, when I throw the boomerang, I'm not going to do a whole lot of moving while it's in the air, because I want to make sure that I am very much in the right spot when it returns. The other thing that you're very rarely going to see me do, with one particular exception, is you're almost never going to see me throw it diagonally. And the reason for that is it makes it a lot tougher to line yourself up with the boomerang when it comes back. So we're just going to go ahead and kill you with the sword. Okay.
Oh, I look forward to that one diagonal use of that boomerang. I know where it is. And
where I will use it several times diagonally? Yeah. Oh, goodness. always a nice and nice nervous area for me, especially in PB paces and marathon runs. So I appreciate you making me think about that now, Kat. You are a real peach.
Always here to help. I do want to echo, don't sleep on this game's boomerang. I didn't buy it in my playthrough of this game, and they're like, why are these bosses take 1,000 hits? Then I watch Bonnie's run, and you'll see what happens. You'll see what this boomerang does.
Yeah, they basically melt under the power of the boomerang. It's fantastic. As you can see, another chained up old man. It's just a thing. It just is.
Weirdly enough, the chained up old man usually indicates a bombable wall to the right.
Well, especially when they tell you bomb the wall to the right to get to this. So they're pretty forthright about it, which I appreciate. I mean, no beating around the bush, anything like that. So, all right. So here we have the moth enemies. What I will want them to do is land like this. I will get to their side and I will throw my boomerang at their butts, and hopefully, oh, that looks like a one cycler. There you go. Beautiful. Done. If I was trying to do that with the fire staff, I probably would be here for about the next minute. So, yeah, they just... And I actually got a really good pattern, too. Where they land and whatnot is completely random, and their movement pattern as well. So, that was... So, I'm 2 for 2 on good boss RNG, which is a thing here. The bosses in this game, with only a couple of exceptions, are very, very random. So the fact that they have been really polite so far is good. Very good. All right. So you saw me use the wing. I go zipping into the sky, come back to Purple Robe Dude, who asked me again if I want the password, and I still say no. But at least he's offering. I appreciate that. So now we're going to come into Urius Shrine here. We're also going to equip the Manipula Herb, which is what I just earned from finishing that last crypt. And now that I have it, this guard is like, come on in here, talk to Princess Kea, who is feeling very much not well, but we just give her a little bit of the herb and she just pops right back to life. Look at this, just bam, right out of bed like it's nothing. All right. And now, upon regaining consciousness, Princess Keia's like, this is a perfect time for a lore dump. So she says, yeah, I heard about what's going on with your dad, and I think I might know who can help. Let's come on over here in the room to the left. And here's this big goddess statue. What she's going to tell us is that the last time that we knew of Daddy's whereabouts, he was seeking guidance from this statue, so perhaps she knows something. Why don't you do this? Take that chalice of agony, which no longer has any use, put it in her hands, and let's just see what happens. And what happens is a celestial beam of light comes forth and reveals a staircase. And there we go.
I've seen Indiana Jones. You don't just mess around with like old cups and statues.
Right. I feel like Indiana Jones took inspiration from Neutopia when it comes to that scene in the it's the Last Crusade, right? Yeah.
I think George Lucas is on the hook now.
Oh yeah. Indeed. So we are headed to our next destination. We're gonna wake up a bunch of these evil trees. Fortunately, their waking up animation takes so long that by the time they actually get moving, we're already long gone, and they're just never a threat. So I find them very amusing.
They're good trees, chat. They're very good.
Yes. Alrighty, so let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, so coming up next is an area that we're actually going to see twice. It is an area that I affectionately refer to as Dope Beat Cave, and why it has such a name should become rather evident right now, actually. We just got to get these rock guys out of the way. They can drop bombs, so I'm actually okay with killing them. Although I think I'm full on bombs, but you never know. So yeah.
Hey, while you're navigating the spooky cave, can I read it like some donations?
Oh yeah, totally.
Fabulous. We have $40 from Mercer Man saying, shout out to all the gamer bears out there. Glad to support the fundraiser for another year. Thank you so much, Mercer Man. And this seemingly came out of left field, and this is awesome. Metabot donates $1,000 saying thank you for supporting electronic sports.
Yo, let's go. $1,000.
Let's get a big round of applause out there. Wait, this is online. Everyone applaud in your living room. Or don't. Yes. It's cool. Don't wake up the house. It's early. But seriously, thank you. That's so cool.
That is truly amazing. Did that get applied to like a donation incentive or something? I hope it did.
It might have. I will find that answer for you one day in the future.
Gotcha. Alrighty, so here we are in Crypt 3. For those of you that are familiar with the first game, Rude Purple Wizards are back, but fortunately they're much, much easier to deal with in this version because they move way slower and they totally telegraph when they're going to shoot. The only thing that is different about this one that is problematic is that they can vanish, which is just more annoying than anything, just because it takes time. You got to wait for them to reappear, especially if it's in a room where you need to kill all of them in order to proceed.
I can confirm that $1,000 went towards the VVV race to collect the Veni Vidi Vici ticket.
Nice. Very nice. Alrighty, so again, Kat, you're spot on. Old man chained up in cave, bomb the wall next to him, and we proceed. So this game is nothing if not consistent.
Sometimes you just gotta bomb the wall next to you and proceed.
Yep. You just got
just the way of life.
We now have our second shield upgrade. This is going to be the first of our next set of things that we will need to get.
Xandra, you continue with the. I'm just gonna start calling the game.
Oh, I'll take that actually. Oh God, I just got caught up there, and well, whatever. That's all right. Damage shouldn't be too big a deal. We're almost done with this crypt, and I usually don't take a whole lot of damage from the boss, so I'm not terribly worried about it. This is one of my least favorite rooms in the game, because we got to come all the way into the middle here to the spiral, because this has the key, which, as I was talking about, we need. And then we gotta come all the way back out because I have to bomb the wall on the east side. So we literally have to go all the way back through this spiral.
I think this room may have inspired Zelda 1. Very popular layout of the blocks.
It certainly will look familiar to Zelda fans.
I'm glad this game was there to work off of. Gave us what Zelda became one day.
Yes. All right, I tell you what. If we're going to go down this road, I'm going to make a disclaimer here before I get pounded yet again in the YouTube comments. I understand that The Legend of Zelda came out in 1986. I also understand that Neutopia came out in 1989. This came out in 1991. Those are after Zelda. Yes, I understand this. However, our memes have no regard for your timeline. So just deal with it, internet.
That's your meme's terms of service.
Alright, so here we have Weird Toad. Weird Toad sucks because... Oh, maybe not. Oh my god. Is this going to be a 2-cycle? Oh, shoot. Okay. So Weird Toad can do one of 3 things. They can either do that tongue lash, that little tongue spore attack, or they can do what I like to call the Golden Brain, which is the only phase in which you can do damage to Weird Toad. Now, which of the 3 it does is completely random. So I need to see the Golden Brain twice. I've already done enough hits on 1 cycle. I just need to see the Golden Brain one more time. Now, when I'm going to see that is anybody's guess. So I got it on the first cycle, and now we've gone probably about 15 without seeing it again. So I just gotta wait and wait and wait and just hope that the boss finally decides to show me the brain. And
Coach just really hogging the spotlight today. Look at this.
Mm-hmm. Just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Still waiting. Come on, Weird Toad.
17,000 people watching. Weird Toad's on the screen.
Yeah, Weird Toad is just like, oh yes, I am not wasting this opportunity to just jump around and be a complete jerk. Look at this. Ah, there it is. Haha, thank you. Okay. Alrighty. So, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna talk to this long-winded man. But once he finally shuts up, we're going to pick up a very, very important item, which I'm sure will be appreciated by some watching this. We have the Rainbow Drop. This is a very lovely item, which is going to create rainbows all over the place. And, yeah, that's cool.
Big fan of the Rainbow Drop. I'm so happy they brought it back from 1.
The Rainbow Drop is very much a fan favorite.
Such a step up from the step ladder. Or rather, you know, the step ladder was such a bad iteration of the Rainbow Drop.
I know, yeah. It's just brown and, like, wooden. It doesn't even, like, make rainbows. Like, why even?
If you're gonna have a thing to get you over small gaps and it's not a rainbow, what are you doing?
What are you doing with yourself?
Like, Ocarina of Time eventually got it right. Like, that's the first time the Rainbow Drop ever appeared in a Zelda game.
Yes. Yes. Alrighty, so off we go. We're actually going to pick up another really useful item in just a few screens here. And I will talk about that once I get to it, because it is another fan favorite returning item from the first Neutopia. Oh, and so there you saw me use the rainbow drop to kind of walk across the gap there between the mainland and this little island that I'm onto. That's what the rainbow drop does, is when you walk across those tile-wide gaps, it will create a lovely shimmering rainbow that you can walk on. Now we have the Falcon Shoes, which doubles my movement speed, and now this is pod racing. All right. I'm just doing a little walkie walk here, so if you want to hit me with some more donations, go ahead.
I can totally do that if that's something that you want here today. We have $15 from Perkism saying, "Hi all, super happy to be a part of this great marathon. Much love to all runners and organizers. Donation is going towards tying both incentives for the girl and the robot because who doesn't love making things interesting? Catch y'all in like 5 hours." And as well, we have another wonderful nemesis of mine, Mad Mega, with $100 saying, "Hey, Power with Pride peeps. It's been a wonderful marathon. I've enjoyed watching all weekend. Keep up the great work, everyone."
Yo, shout outs to Mad Mega. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mad Mega.
All right, so we talked a lot about the fire staff that I am using. This actually has usefulness. In this game, there's also the wind staff and the thunder staff. We only pick those up because we need to. The wind staff is only in the speedrun. The wind staff is only useful in one room, and that's only if we don't have the boomerang. And then the thunder staff is just... it's just not good. It's just not. And we don't use it at all. But we need to pick it up in order to satisfy the conditions for the 100% category. So it joins the fray. Alrighty. So we are on our way now to crypt number 4. As you can see, there's kind of like some frost on the ground. This is very foreboding because this is going to be the ice area that is coming up here. And there you see it. All that lovely slippery ice. Hooray. All right, but before we get up there, we come in here. And these dudes in the blue togas, this is actually the second one that I've talked to. These are the ones that are going to increase my bomb carrying capacity. All right, so we're gonna do a little slipping and sliding. We're gonna slide into this staircase eventually. There we go. And we're gonna talk to this dude, who is like, "Hey, nice shoes. How would you like some boots?" And so we're like, "Yes, we would like boots, especially snow boots, which are going to completely negate all ice physics." So, yay. We dealt with them for like 3 screens, and then that was it.
This just means that Neutopia 2 may be the best ice physics you'll ever experience in a video game because they're not there after 3 screens.
Amen, sister.
Unless you go the wrong way, and then, well...
Yeah, unless you're just like, yeah, I'll come back to that staircase eventually, and sliding to your death like several times, and then you see those boots, and you're just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alrighty, so pay attention to this first room here, because this is going to be the Rainbow Bridge on full display. Look at this magnificent thing. Oh my goodness, rainbows everywhere. Shout outs.
Perfect game for Power Up with Pride. Now we're getting over it with Pride.
Yeah. Yes.
Vonnie, you were not consulted, but you agreed to have me here for this run, so.
If by agreed you mean resign myself to the fact, yes, I agree. Absolutely.
That sums up Vonnie and I's friendship of just, I'm there and he's given up.
So we now have our second sword upgrade, the Silver Sword. This is actually a very significant increase in our damage and output. So it is a welcome sight, I will say that. Alrighty, so this crypt This is when it really starts to escalate as far as the number of bombs that you need to get through it. We're going to use a total of 7 in this crypt alone. So it's going to start to become more and more important to get these drops from enemies so that it can keep I can keep my supply in good shape. Oh, nice. Wow, right on cue. All right, now for these ghosty boys, I'm going to want to see a set of wings. I really, really am. Like I said, we're going to use wings in 3 different places in the game. And the next one, hopefully, will be after I'm done with this crypt. These wings save the most time. Backtracking here costs like at least a minute and a half. So if we can avoid that, that would be magnificent. And these ghosts are going to be the only ones that have them in their drop tables. So if I don't get them here, I've got another room with 4 ghosts that I will fight, and I will hope and pray that I find them in there. So, yeah, we shall see. First, we got a bomb over here.
We're gonna need your good wing RNG in chat.
Yeah, the vibes, yes.
I see you picked up the flail, an item I completely missed when I played this video game.
Oh, no. Oh, shoot. And of course, he disappears. Come on. Wings, 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 wings. Damn it. Okay, well. All right, well, we get to hoof it, so that's just the way it is. If this were a PB attempt, that would be a reset. Not getting them here, just because this takes so much time to do. But, you know, it's just the way it goes. All right. So coming up here, we have this boss. This is Roboid. Roboid is one of the very few bosses in this game that we can completely manipulate. We're going to stand here to the left. We're going to bait out 4 of these punches. And then after that, it is going to go to the ground. I'm going to throw the boomerang. Oh, that was an excellent throw. And it's going to do damage to it on the way back. Now I'm going to bait out 5 punches. Here's 3. 4. You just stand at about like a shoulder height. And there we go. Okay. Perfect. All right, and 2 cycles and that boss is dead. If you let that guy get free and move around and whatnot, it is a big pain to deal with. So the fact that we have a very reliable quick kill for it, as long as your timing is good, is awesome. All right, we now have the aqua lung, which means we can breathe underwater, which is convenient because, like, in 2 screens, we're going to be going underwater. You mentioned the flail, the item that I got in the in that previous crypt. We get it, obviously, because it's 100%. It's a permanent item. Now, the flail itself is an extremely weak weapon. It does very little damage. However, it is insanely useful for one particular enemy, or I guess set of enemies, that we're going to be encountering several times. So the fact that we have it for that is really good. So that's cool. Well, I have to do a bunch of walking here, and it's literally just backtracking. So there's nothing interesting happening here. If you would like to donation, blurb, anything like that, then take away.
I can hook it up. I'm gonna just quickly shout out the 2 gift sub givers in chat that, and there may have been more. I'm scanning. I see Errata Kamikaze gifting out a gift sub, and Chiron HR with the 5 gift sub bomb. That's super wonderful. Thank you so much for those. As well, I can give you a brief reminder. What are we doing here? Bonnie, what are we doing here today? I think we're supporting the Trevor Project and raising money for them.
Well, I mean, that's
the Trevor Project. That's what you're doing. I hope it's what we're all doing here. And if you're out there, sitting there, watching this channel, say you see it on the front page, you pop in, ask, what or who is the Trevor Project? I have that answer for you. And the answer is the Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ, which I always stumble over that acronym, despite being under that umbrella, young people. The organization works to save young lives by providing support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where young people spend their time. their 24/7 phone line, chat, text, and soon to come integrations with social media platforms. They also run Trevor Space, the world's largest safe space social networking site for LGBTQ youth, and operate innovative education, research, and advocacy programs. So, I hope that helped you out, Bonnie, with your question that you didn't ask.
I am always here for discussions of suicide prevention, so you are good in more than one ways.
Well, thank you.
Alrighty, so here we are in Crypt 5. This is a very execution-heavy dungeon. It's probably my favorite crypt to play through, just because there's so much execution you do in here. So, you know, if you're on point with your skill and whatnot, it makes getting through here really quick. You can't really, you know, bemoan bad RNG or anything like that. So now, you might have noticed that this is this is now the 5th crypt we've been in. The first 4 have had the same music in them. Now this one is different. There is a very particular reason for that, which I will revisit once we get to the end of this crypt, and I will explain that. But this is not by accident. Alrighty.
So, do we not want money anymore? Are we done with money?
So money is only going to be useful in one of 2 situations. First of all, that flail item that I was talking about before, weird little mechanic with it is every time that you use it, every time you swing the flail, it costs you 10 gold. So you need to have enough money to do that. The other thing is that if we happen to lose the boomerang like I was talking about before, you can buy another one. So you would just need to have the 300 gold to do that. Hopefully, we won't encounter that situation. But those are the only 2 applications for money throughout the rest of the run, which is nice. It's good that you just need to do a grind in the beginning, and then if everything goes well, then you're just done. And as far as the money that you need to swing the flail, you kind of just pick that up naturally along the way, so you don't need to, like, grind for flail money specifically, which is nice. So, that's good.
I really deeply enjoy that it costs money to swing the flail. That's just
It's super weird. I don't understand why, like what's the logic there? Like, why it would be, why you would need money to throw the flail around, but it's just the way it is, Cat.
Clearly, it's coin operated. You insert 25 cents, the flail swings once.
Here we go. All right, so if you've been watching since the beginning of the run, you might recognize this enemy right here. This is the Kraken. This is the big that Jazeta failed to slay. That's because Jazeta didn't have a boomerang. And we do, and so we basically just throw it twice, and the Kraken just dies. And by dying, I mean Kraken turns into your dad. And we're just like, whoa, there you are. Okay, wasn't expecting to find you here. And so Dad's like, oh, son, well done. Thank you so much for releasing me from my squiddy prison that I was just in. Here's the deal. I tried to kill Dirth the second time. I wasn't so successful. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you my sword. I'm also going to give you a little bit of a pep talk. Take this legendary sword back to the Uria Shrine. It should help. I'll go ahead and teleport you there. And now I'm going to take a nap. All right.
If only there were boomerangs in Neutopia 1, then maybe Jazeta would have stood a chance.
Just maybe. Alrighty. So now that we have this sort of legend, we're just going to go ahead and stab it into this rock for reasons. And actually, here's the reason, is it's going to open up this portal behind it, and there we go. We can proceed.
I always super weird that like this building has so many strange caverns and pathways that all lead to populated towns.
Yes. Indeed. Alrighty, so make a stop in here, talk to Purple Robe Dude. We already got wings from Crypt 5, which is really nice because I don't have to worry about farming for them in Crypt 6, because there are very few opportunities to do that. So the fact that we're good to go there is nice. Unfortunately, this wing use is the one that saves the least amount of time, but, you know, it's still nice to have. So, all right, we are now off to Crypt 6, and Crypt 6 is a doozy. It is by far the longest crypt in the game. A good run through it takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 9-ish minutes. This is also going to be where we will be using a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of bombs. If my counting is accurate and my memory is good, we will need a total of 17 bombs in order to get through this crypt. It's a lot of bombs. Fortunately, we have these orange dragony dudes here, and bombs are their common drop. So we are going to be farming these guys quite a bit in order to keep our bomb count healthy. Case in point, right on cue. There we go. All right.
Well, I have sorry.
Go ahead.
I have a question for you as well, and this might have echoed from chat previously. There are a lot of bomb walls in this game, right?
Yep.
How do you find the bomb walls?
You put a bomb against it and hope that it opens up.
That's it.
Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful game design. I love it.
Unless there's a chained up old man in that room that deliberately tells you, hey, bomb this wall.
Unfortunately, not all rooms have chained up old men in them.
No, they don't. All right, that's now the second time that the last enemy in the room has dropped that little blue crystal item. The blue crystals are great because when you touch it, it immediately freezes all the enemies in the room and then they die. This is great for saving time. However, unfortunately, when you freeze and kill enemies in that fashion, they will never drop any items. So there's actually going to be situations where, let's say, you know, one of the first enemies that I kill in a room will drop it, and I will deliberately not touch it because I will want to manually kill the other enemies in there in order to potentially get the items that they could drop. So, all right, bunch of dagger blocks that we just have to wait on as we walk around. Now, we are going to put this flail to use because we have these cloudy boys right here. We're going to swing this flail around very recklessly and just basically crush everything. Now, here's the deal. So these clouds have these large, medium, and small forms. The amount of damage that you need to do in order to break them up is basically just like 1 damage. So the flail is perfect because it breaks them up, and you can swing it all the... I mean, you saw me swing it around. It covers, like, over half of the room when you swing it in a circle like that. So, it's great because as they bounce all over the place, trying to corral them with your sword, like if you're doing an any percent run, is a big old pain. So, the flail just cuts out a whole bunch of that riffraff and splits them all up. Now, the one problem with doing this is that the flail also will collect items that are dropped, which is normally good, but it's not good if you happen to pick up an hourglass before all of the enemies have been split up. If that's the case, then you have to wait until the hourglass wears off before you can do the final splits on them. Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody say hello to my daughter. She's here to say hi.
Hello.
She's saying hello.
Cute. I'm sorry.
No, that is my friend Kat. Alrighty. So yeah. So these enemies here, these kind of cute little Grim Reaper things. These are the ones that I would normally farm to get wing drops, but because I already have them, I can just ignore them. Because as you see, I bomb my way through that room. I don't need to kill them to like force a door open or anything. So, So yes, I'm gonna actually wait for that. Oh shoot. Okay. Okay. Go on inside.
See, we had a special guest star and everything today.
She has actually headed inside. So for those of you that enjoyed tiny adorable human, she has left the building. Oh, another time that they drop. Normally I bemoan the fact that I get the hourglasses on the last enemy drop, which don't do any good because they freeze non-existent or dead enemies. But here the crystal essentially is the same deal, where there's no more enemies for them to freeze, and it's just completely pointless.
I will say this dungeon that you're in right now, this lovely two-sided dungeon that gets smaller as it does. It get smaller? No, it's the pyramid. This one really kind of like made me question why I'm playing this game casually. Like, this game is awesome. This dungeon was very trying.
Yeah, this dungeon is total crap, and yeah, so for the casual play, I can see where you would be like, yeah, this is really testing my patience.
It turned into me bombing every single wall and noting which ones I have not bombed.
Which, like I said, I mean, and I know where I'm going, and it's the quickest they threw. 17 bombs that you need. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. It is.
Yeah.
That being said, do not let that deter you from Neutopia.
No.
Everyone needs to play more TurboGrafx games, and I
help
have
me
pushing an agenda. What's that?
I said, help me sell this game, Cat.
Oh no, I'm just gonna sell the console. The game is a bonus.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we decided to switch it up, and now we have a young woman chained up in the dungeon. This is actually a princess who says, yeah, Dirth is scared of me because I have this super sweet flute. Okay.
Not
used
enough
the flute exactly once. Yeah, so like, I mean, like this. There's multiple rooms in this crypt where you have to use not one, but 2 bombs to break open walls. We already did the first one where I got the key. Now I have... Okay, so now I have the gold shield. This is going to be our final shield upgrade. And in fact, you need to have the final form of all of your items, the sword, the shield, and the armor, before you can even get into the room where the final boss is. So these are required items, even if you're playing this game casually. All right, we're going to shove all these guys into a corner, hopefully get some bomb drops, and ooh, we struck out. That's... That's not good, because I use a bomb there. I use a bomb here. So I'm going to need a couple more drops just to make sure we're good. All right, so you have to fight these Grim Reaper dudes. Fortunately, they all kind of flew into a very tight little pattern there. Whether or not you can dodge that fire as you enter the room, to me, it seems random. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, despite making the same motion through there every single time. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things. But we're actually almost to the end of this crypt. This is the final floor of the crypt. In fact, we've only got a couple rooms to go, which is good. And then, so after this long, arduous crypt, the boss, by way of the boomerang, is a complete joke. You would think that you would get to the end of this and there would be some epic battle, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, that's not the case. So here we have Medusa. We're just going to come over here to the left wall, and we're just going to throw a boomerang at her ear. And we're going to do it again because it seemed to work out so well the first time. Let's do it a third time, and we're done. That's it.
Her poor snakes.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so we're actually going to get 2 goodies at the end of this crypt. The first is the Bell of Heaven. This is going to be very similar to the one that you get in the first Neutopia. In fact, we're going to use it right away as soon as we get outside. And then up here, we're going to pick up an item called the Sun Flare, or Sun Flame, excuse me. And this we are going to put to use very soon. But first, we don't use wings going back here because there is a... Oh, whoops. Hello. Oh my god, get out of my way. There's a very important item that we need to swing by and pick up on our way back to town. And that's right here. We're going to use that flute that the lady in the crypt gave us. And it's going to break up this ice, and out is going to come this very friendly ice golem. And he is going to give us a medallion. We're going to need to collect 4 of these medallions in order to open the way to Dirth's evil lair. Dirth is he is the final boss of this game, and the whole cause for all of this bad stuff going on. So what we're going to have now is kind of like a little bit of a boss rush, where we're going to go into 2 crypts that really aren't much of crypts at all. You're just going to fight some enemies in one room. The next room is the boss. You don't even need to get a key to get in there. And then at the end of it is a medallion, and then you just go. That's it. Alrighty, so now we're going to talk to this guy who says, hey, you have the legendary sword and the sun flame. Let me just do a little bangaroo here with those 2 items. And look, you now have the sun sword, or essentially the golden sword. This is going to be our final sword upgrade. Only now will the sword at times be preferred as opposed to the boomerang.
There's a long-running theme in Neutopia likes of just here's this legendary sword that sealed evil away, and then you're like, yeah, but what if I make it better and upgrade it? It's not good enough already.
Exactly.
Very jarring.
So now we have the lightning staff only because we have to. This is the outcast of the staffs.
I do, if I may, be so bold as to talk in this run.
Yeah, me too.
I do want to point out, this run is probably within its last 20-ish, 25 minutes or so.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. I need to make sure I'm doing this right. Coming up soon is Sailor Moon R, 90% co-op. You can still choose that second character. And right now, the best Sailor Scout is in the lead, Sailor Mercury. So you can solidify that lead with more dollars. Or if you just happen to be a big fan of Sailor Moon or Sailor Mars or Sailor Venus, you can put money towards that and then make the second player play as that one. So let's get some bid wars going on here.
Yeah, let's get some. Yeah, also shoutouts to the more than 20,000 fantastic people that are watching us right now. Also, shoutouts to the scientist Nanyo here that says, hey, I understand you need to climb into a volcano. No problem, I got you. Take this magic hand, and this will grant you access. Why a magical hand will allow you to enter a volcano, I don't know. It's just hashtag video game logic.
I need help entering this volcano. Here, let me give you a hand.
But not just any hand. First of all, a disembodied hand, and a magical one at that. Oh, no.
Oh gosh.
Alrighty. So, yes, we have been given a hand by the scientist. Actually, I'm actually going to take that just to make sure I'm good. That was actually very nice of them to drop that. Alrighty, so in we go to the volcano, but first we have to deal with probably my least favorite non-boss enemy in the game. These kind of these spear-throwing demon things. What they will sometimes do is what you saw them doing up there, which is float along the top of the screen where they're impossible to hit. They also do a ton of damage, so they're not fun. All right, so here we go. Immediately boss. We're going to stand here, throw a boomerang up, do it again. Now we're going to stab a bunch, turn around, and we're done. That's it. Super easy boss. Okay. And then here we go, medallion, and we're literally done. Let's just get out of here.
I love how they put the boss names. Like, Elliot has defeated the salamander.
Yes, indeed. So we go from an extremely easy boss to one that is just truly, truly awful. This is, I'm going to be doing a battle with a boss named Zorbon, who is just, I can't, like, I cannot overstate just how horrendous this boss can be.
The first time Bonnie told me about this boss, I thought I was going to fight a Dragon Ball Z villain. I got very excited, but it was Zorbon and not Zarbon. But this boss is aces. You're going to love it.
Yes. All right, so first, we need to burn down some trees. Sorry, environment. We need to kill these ogre dudes first. These kind of cyclop ogre things. If you're in the splatter of their clubs when they hit the ground, you get stunned for a couple seconds. All right, so here's Zorbon. Oh, did I? Oh, dang it. All right. So here's the deal with Zorbon. What this boss is going to do is it's going to bounce around and shoot. While it's bouncing around and shooting and whatnot, I literally can't do anything to it. Only once it starts kind of like scooting along across the ground like this, then we can split it up and we can create more Zorbons. Because, you know, the Zorbon that we're already dealing with wasn't bad enough, right? Now we have more. Now, fortunately, when they're in their smallest form, you can stab them with the sword and they die. But when they're bouncing around like this, like I said, they're invulnerable. Now, when they decide to stop bouncing around and start sliding, totally random. This one's actually being pretty nice to me. Oh boy. Come on. Start doing it. Start doing your thing. One thing you have to be careful of is that if you ever get either directly above or below a sliding Zorbon or directly to its left or right, it will immediately stop sliding and start jumping, thus making it invulnerable again. So that's why you have to throw the boomerang at a diagonal so that you don't get into any of those areas. Otherwise, you just won't be able to do any damage to it. Fortunately, that Zorbon was actually pretty nice given the circumstances. So now we have the blue medallion. That's 3 of the 4 that we need. Now we're going to do a formal crypt, as you know we've been doing through most of the game, and our reward for that one will be the 4th and final medallion. So that's cool. But before I get there, I got to do some walking. So, Kat, if you want to donation, blurb, or whatnot, then yeah, go ahead.
I do have a donation for you.
Yeah,
I
cool.
have the one and only Xandra with $5 saying, "Where do you find the outcast of staffs? Out in the sticks." Thank you so much, Xandra, for that.
Thank you and boo all at the same time.
Under no circumstances will we boo puns here. Puns are welcome in this house.
It is it's an endearing boo. It is a boo of it is a boo of caring. Thank you, Xandra. You're awesome. Oh goodness. Okay. Alrighty. So so into Crypt 7 we go. And oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do that just in case. And this is see, I got hit up in one of those splats, which is why you kind of just saw me not moving on my own. The conveyor belt was taking me, but that was it. So that Bell of Heaven that I picked up at the end. That I picked up at the end of the previous crypt. We're going to put that to pretty good use in a lot of areas here, and I'll explain exactly what it does once I start using it. But first, there's going to be a few rooms like this. There's a couple of them, notably in the final crypt, that you are going to have to kill enemies that you cannot get to and reach with your sword. So you have to find alternative means, and in that case we use the boomerang. But yeah, so we pop in here, and now we are going to pick up the golden armor. Now we have all of the equipment that we need: gold armor, gold shield, and the sun sword, or essentially the golden sword. And this is what we will need in order to get into the fight with Dearth at the very end of the game. Okay, so I gotta kill all these enemies in here. Alright, now once I kill all these enemies, I need to push a block to open the doors. Or do I? The answer is no, I don't. Because I ring the bell instead, and that forces the doors open. So, anytime you would need to push a block to make doors open or stairs appear, you can use the bell instead and save yourself a whole bunch of time and grief. This is why I hate these enemies. Just floating around along the top of the screen, can't hit them. Okay, where are you going to go from here? Okay, that's good. That's actually perfect. All right, so see that block up at the top that I need to push to open the door? Nope. Bell instead. Bell's going to save us a whole bunch of time throughout the... because we're going to use it in the final crypt too, to just throw doors open that would otherwise require us to do other things. All right. Let's bomb that. Take damage. Why not? All right. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I would like to reserve as much life as... ooh, good. As much life as possible. Hello. Thank you. No. There we go. Okay, good. As much life as possible for the boss of this crypt, because we're just... oh, nice. We're going to be taking a bunch of damage from it. That's just the way it is. It just moves around very randomly. It's a very big boss, so it takes up a lot of the room. And we're just going to get hit a lot. Now, ideally, we'll be able to kill this boss without having to use one of the 2 potions that I've collected. The fact that I still have my boomerang, which is not in any way a guarantee at this point in the game, because you can very often lose it to the Zorban fight. So the fact that I still have that is going to come in extremely handy, because it will allow us to assault this boss from a distance. So here it is. This is Sore Floyd. Now, I'm only going to be able to damage it once the flower in the middle opens up and reveals the pistol inside. Now, its movement pattern is completely random. However, the timing for when it opens up, that's on a set cycle. So I kind of know, when I should throw out my boomerang. Now, you see me throw the boomerang, and I don't move, because I could very easily get knocked out of the way by one of those petals that comes out and have the boomerang just go sailing right by me. But fortunately, that wasn't the case. And early into the 3rd cycle of that fight is a really good kill. It can be done in 2, but you got to get pretty lucky. So early in the 3rd cycle, I will absolutely take, especially in a marathon setting. But
Vonnie taught me very early on a little trick for the boomerang of, if you throw it left, do not do anything other than move left and right. If you throw it up, do not move anything other than move up and down.
Yeah. And the reason for that is that, like I said before, whenever you get hit, you always, boost in the direction opposite what you're facing. So as long as you're kind of on that X or Y axis, depending on which direction you've thrown it, even if you get boosted away from it or into it, you'll still catch it. So it's not a problem. All right, so we need to burn down this cactus, talk to another hot pink toga dude. He is going to give us our final segment of life. And now with this, we have collected everything that we need to in order to satisfy the 100% category of this speedrun. The only thing we have left to do now is kill the final boss, and then it's GG's. So that's where we are hot footing it to right now. So if you would like to sneak in some donations or things like that, then this would actually be a decent time.
See, I am going to take this lovely time to go on about more bid wars and incentives. So I talked about Sailor Moon, so I will not get lost in those weeds anymore. We have as well, and like the marathons, we're getting there. We're getting towards the end, so there's not a ton left. So now your money super matters towards these incentives. Yeah. We have the girl and the robot. We have 2 incentives for that. You want the dress color to be blue or white? We have those handled. You can throw money at those. Robots, if you want a gold robot or a mossy robot, we can throw money at those too. As well, there's always the ever-present, is Bulbasaur or Squirtle cuter? That's a knives out incentive. Like you can show Bulbasaur fans that Squirtle's the real answer there. As well, a good friend of mine, I believe, is playing Infinitas, and yes, this is Sparkover. If you want Sparkover to play ludicrously hard songs for the last 15 minutes, we need to fill that incentive. We are over $2,000 away from that, so only y'all can make that happen. And as well, not to get too far ahead of us right now, we have VVVVV, or VV, as Xander is making me say it. We can collect the Veni Vidi Vici ticket with, that's almost complete. That's a little under $900 away. Anyway, exclamation mark donate, exclamation mark incentives. Let's get those in and let's benefit the Trevor Project and do good things.
Indeed, let's do that. Now, these are the rooms that I was talking about before, where you've got these enemies that you need to kill to get through them, but in a lot of cases, you can't get close enough to stab them with your sword. When they're up in the corner like that, I can't do anything, but hopefully just... shoot, of course he wanders away. Oh, come on. I just gotta throw fire at him and just hope that it dies. Come on. There we go. Okay, good. Gotta push this, and push this. Alrighty, one more confrontation with these cloud enemies. We're gonna just swing the flail around do-si-do, and everything dies. Okay, good. Alright. Oh boy. Well, that's fine. Okay. So that item that I just picked up, the magical ring, I know I talked about it in the very beginning. I will be using it in this crypt on one specific room and on one specific set of enemies. These are flying squirrels. Flying squirrels are absolutely awful. They're evil. They're stupid. I don't care how cute they are. These things suck. And I will not listen to any words to the contrary. So
I'm not going to argue this one.
No, yeah, just let it go. However, we will get our revenge on these squirrely enemies a little later on, and I will talk about that when it comes up.
At least that last one dropped a time stop thingy for
an hourglass at the very end when I no longer needed it? I know, such joy. Alrighty. So let's see here. We're gonna do a little dance around this guy. Ring the bell. We got squirrels in here that we can thankfully ignore because we just need to bomb this wall here. So, bye-bye squirrels. Now, we're gonna come into this room. You see all of these squirrels, and now you don't. We use the magic ring, turn them into these little slimy boys, and move on. That room is absolutely terrifying. You're cramped in, you've got all these spikes that come out of the floor, there's squirrels bouncing around all over the place. You're liable to take so much damage in that room. But the magic ring turns those enemies into smaller ones and makes them much, much easier to kill. So even if we pick up that ring in the very first crypt of the game, we will hold on to it like our precious throughout the entire game just to use it in that one room because it's just how bad that room is. All right. So we have our key. we need that as well as all of the equipment that I talked about before to get to the final boss. So we are now there. Let's see if I can do this little swerve around here. Oh shoot, I came at it at a funny angle. Oh well. All right. Now, in this room here, we need to make sure that we don't let these block enemies get to our left, because if they do, then it just gets a little too chaotic. So, fortunately, I corralled them somewhat, and we're good. Alrighty, knowing which enemies are, or knowing which blocks are not friends is good, so that we can kill them and get through here. Alright, that's what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay, good. Get out of the way. Get out of the way still, please. Thank you. Okay. Good. Alright, so we are now on the final floor of this crypt. This is the guy that tells you, hey, if you don't have all that equipment, here's where you go get it, and if you don't have it, he won't let you pass. So you can't even get into the final floor of the game, let alone the boss's room, without all that stuff. But we have it, so ouch, so we're good to go. Actually, oh no, I will pick that up because I'll use it in the next room. Yeah, if you happen to get a ring in here, you can use it in this next room to make it a little faster. Like so. Because these things only take 2 hits to kill, whereas those big blocky boys take 5. Alright. Here we go. Final boss time. So this is Dearth. He's got... You'll see when he gets up. Excuse me. He's got this big menacing sword on his hip. But what he's actually going to do is he's going to steal all of our staves, and that's how he's going to fight us. So we just need to hit him a bunch. And hope that he uses lightning. The reason why we want him to use lightning is because he reappears more quickly after he uses it. The wind one is the one we want to see the least because it is, excuse me, it is the one that is going to push you away and kind of prevent you from doing extra damage to the boss. Time will be coming up on the final hit of the boss, so get ready on it because it's not going to be too far off. Darn it, come on. All right, lightning is good. Oh, we're almost done. Almost. Whoops, wrong way. Just gonna use this just in case, and that's time. All
hey,
right.
GG, Bonnie.
Yo, thank you very much. So Dearth has been defeated. He is now going to be buried in an avalanche. Excuse me. The medallions are going to light up. That sword of legend is now going to react to them. And here comes Dad one more time to say, well done, son. You did what I could not. You have infused Earth, and for your reward, you will be infused with my soul. Now, go take a victory lap all around Neutopia and tell everybody how awesome you are. And that's what we're about to do. So that is Neutopia 2, the 100% category for the TurboGrafx 16. I want to thank you, Kat, for being here and hosting, because it's always fantastic to be able to cut it up with you no matter what the circumstances are. I'd like to thank the folks at Power Up with Pride for having me here. This is a marathon and a cause that I've always really admired and wanted to be a part of, and the fact that they took this in here was really exciting for me because I love being able to help out and show off cool runs like this. If you enjoyed this run here, if you enjoyed this game, if you enjoyed me, or maybe even a combination of those things, please do give me a follow. I would greatly appreciate that because I do games like this on my channel all the time. This is one of my main speed games. I do have the world record in both any percent and 100% for this game. So if you like this, I do it a lot, and I would enjoy having all of you on my channel to check out my exploits there. So I thank you all. I see a whole bunch of GGs in the chat. Thank you all for that. This run, what did I get? A 115. That's fine, especially because I didn't have the wings coming out of Crypt for I kind of expected this to be a little slower, but even given those circumstances, this was actually a pretty good run. So I am very happy with that. So yeah, and here we go. The gang's all here. We all come into Uria's shrine. We look to the heavens. We say thank you, Jazz Jr., who we like to call him, or Elliot in this case, for vanquishing the evil. And now the credits begin. So yeah. So again, that was Neutopia 2 for the TurboGrafx 16, and I really enjoyed my time here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll hand it on over to you, Kat. But until I see all of you folks again, take care.
Hey, Vami, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to say words on the internet with you. In the meantime, y'all hang out for a hot moment. We're going to cut to an intermission screen. We'll be right back with more Winter Pride 2020 with Bleed 2. But in the meantime, stay tuned.